After we nearly crashed our boat into the marina at Ortigueira, we spent a few days chilling out here and taking advantage of the easy land access. We explored this cute little town, stocked up on supplies, and went for a stunning walk through the forest to the mouth of the valley. The Ria is still quite wild and natural, and the lush hillsides made it feel more like Canada or Scotland than Spain.
Good morning, mister. Good morning, sister. I've been gone for quite some time. Now you can decide if I look any older.
The Spanish Rias are an area of northwest Spain, mostly focused around A Coruña kind of area. And a ria is like a flooded river valley, and they're usually quite well sheltered, which makes them a really good place to stop in a boat.
After a great time in Ortigueira, we sailed over to Cedeira, which was a very easy sail in 5 to 15 knots northeasterly winds, and it took us just about 6 hours, and we spent one night there.
Things that you can't steal.
So for a lot of the Spanish coast, we were rushing to get to Ares to meet Eleanor's friends Sofia and Jaime. They'd received a cruising chute for us, which Jekyll's had supplied, very kind of them, and we were trying to get there so that we could get hold of the cruising chute and start using it.
It's not so black and white. It's a good morning, mister. It's a good morning just for you. It's a perfect day to be alive. It's a perfect day to be alive. It's a good morning, mister. It's a good morning just for not so black. It's a good morning, mister. It's a good morning just for. It's a perfect day to be alive. It's a perfect day to be alive.
Had a massive pod of dolphins come visit Kittiwake. They were all over, like on every side of Kittiwake, and we were towing Marika, so some of them were behind it, and they were playing and surfing on the waves. They stayed with us for quite a long time, so in the end I decided to jump in, and I grabbed one of our thickest ropes and jumped at the back of Kittiwake, because obviously at the bow is too dangerous, and there were no dolphins to start with, so I tried to call them somehow. I made tons of noises and they finally came and checked me out, and I had at least 6 or 7 come towards me a few times, and they were coming from underneath me. And there were at least 2 teenage ones, so it was just great. They were checking me out. One of the bigger ones came up and checked my foot out, and it was just really, really cool.
This arid dust falls heavy on my head. This arid dust falls heavy on my head.
We anchored in Ares by the beach and met up with our friends Sofia and Jaime and their cute children. The guys showed us around Ferrol, where they live, and treated us to some super tasty Galician food. Ferrol is famous for being a naval port, and with Jaime being a Navy officer, we were lucky enough to have a full tour of the supply ship he works on, the Patiño. It was fun exploring the huge ship, and Kittiwake would have probably fit in one of their freezers. In 2012, Patiño was attacked by Somali pirates, who thought the ship was a commercial vessel. After fighting the pirates off, Patiño sent one of her helicopters to chase the attackers and captured 6 of them. One was reported killed. It's now the end of August and we're still in Galicia in northern Spain. We're leaving Ares today and we're going to do a passage of maybe about 100 miles down the coast. We might aim for Pontevedra, but we'll just see how it goes. The winds should be really good apparently, and it's really rainy and horrible out there, but got Game of Thrones on the laptop, so hopefully we'll have fun as well. Well, it turns out we're not very tough sailors. The visibility was very poor, the rain hitting our eyes got annoying, and the winds weren't that great. So after about 3 hours, having no AIS or Bimini, we tacked into Mera, opposite A Coruña, and proceeded to watch TV series and eat popcorn all day. After a couple of days, we were ready to set off, with the destination set as the Cies Islands.
The less I gain. Stubborn the root that lies deep under me, buried beneath the last fruit of the tree.
Sailing out of A Coruña, we saw the Tower of Hercules, the oldest Roman lighthouse in use today. It's 55 meters tall and overlooks the North Atlantic coast of Spain. Our new cruising chute from Jekyll's was working great, pushing us along at 4 to 5 knots even in light winds, which is very good for our boat, even though we rigged it the wrong way around with the sheets attached to the tack. We sillily made this mistake all the way down to Portugal.
So we're about halfway through our journey from A Coruña to the Cies Islands. It was a bit of a tricky start. The seas were quite rough and there wasn't much wind, so we ended up motoring quite a bit just to maintain a bit of forward momentum to try and make it a bit less rolly. But Elena still started feeling seasick, so spent most of the day in bed. We were going to go to an anchorage for the night because Elena wasn't feeling that well, which you might be able to see behind me. But Elena's feeling a lot better, so we're going to press on and hopefully get to the Cies Islands tomorrow afternoon.
So it's been a bit of a rough day for me. I've not felt very well most of the day, and the reason why is I think I've lost my sea legs. We've been spending a lot of time in the Ríos and in northern Spain where there's tons of harbours and protected anchorages. So when we've been at anchor many days in a row, and the sea was very calm in all the anchorages. So yeah, that's my thought. I think I lost my sea legs. But I've taken a seasickness pill this afternoon and now I feel much better, and hopefully by sailing more with better winds now I should be able to get my sea legs back on time to do the big passages going down the coast of Portugal. And it's 9 PM and I'm doing my first night shift, but because the cruising chute is still up and we're thinking of keeping it up all night, and it's new and I don't know how to jibe it on my own. We've never jibed it before. Ryan's gonna stay up and we'll do it together in about an hour. So we're probably gonna watch something Game of Thrones as the sun is down and there's not much else to do. But it will be the first time we're actually watching something while on the go, obviously keeping watch every 10 minutes. So yeah, try something new, keep ourselves entertained. As we approached the islands, we realised all the anchoring permits were taken for that weekend. So we headed to Barra, a beach in Ria de Vigo, and we booked a permit for the coming Monday. The Islas Cies are part of a national park, so to cruise them, you need navigation and anchoring permits. These are really easy to get and can be obtained online a few weeks before arriving. You need to provide some documents, which we did by taking some pictures on our phones and sending them via email. The archipelago is made up of 3 main islands: Monte Agudo, which means sharp mountain, Do Faro, the Lighthouse Islands, and San Martino, Saint Martin. During high tide, the sea flows between the islands in the western side and, blocked by the beach, it fills the lagoon between the sandy area and the rocks on Monte Agudo. Praia de Rodas has been proclaimed as one of the best beaches in the world by The Guardian, so the islands attract flocks of tourists in the high season.
We arrived the day before yesterday and had a really nice day yesterday and this morning. We're going to go do some snorkeling later and hopefully see some underwater wildlife. We're anchored off the south side of the main island at Playa de Nosa Senora, which is a really cool anchorage and quite well protected at the moment. So we wanted to go snorkeling in the Islas Cies, particularly because it's a protected area, so we're hoping there'd be lots of fish, which was a really good idea other than the fact that the water there is really, really cold, much colder than the water in Brittany, maybe even colder than the water around the UK. And so we went snorkeling with full wetsuits with hoods and gloves, but even so we were freezing after a few minutes.
On our last day on the Islas Cies, we sailed to San Martino, the southernmost island. The beach here is only accessible by private boat, so we had it all to ourselves. We thought this beach was much more stunning and wild than the one on Monte Agudo. We did a bit of easy and improvised climbing on the rocks behind the beach and collected all the rubbish we could see, which we added to what had already been collected. After an amazing day on San Martino, we sailed back to Barra.
Just for all the finer things in life. It's not so black and white. It's a good morning, mister.
So the day before my birthday, we met up with some guys on a boat called Yamaya. They have a sailing channel called Not Vikings, which is really good and worth checking out. And we went over to theirs and had some drinks. And then rowing back at night, there was the most incredible bioluminescence, and the oars were just like dripping with this bright blue bioluminescence, and the waves were crashing on the beach in this like big blue flash. It was really stunning.
Today's Ryan's birthday. We had pancakes for breakfast in a really nice anchorage called Barra, and then we sailed over to Bayona with our friends from Not Vikings. And this afternoon we're going to explore the city, have a look at the replica from the Columbus ship Pinta, and have a look at the fort, and then tonight we're going to go out for a nice birthday meal. La Pinta was the fastest of the 3 ships used by Columbus in his first transatlantic voyage in 1492. It was on this ship that the New World was first sighted. The replica in Bayona was built by the Spanish government in 1893. On March 1st, 1493, La Pinta returned to Europe and arrived in Bayona, making the town's port the first to receive news of the discovery of America. Thanks for watching this episode. If you liked it, please give it a like or subscribe to our channel. Join us next time as we sail down the coast of Portugal. Don't forget, we're also on Facebook and Instagram. If you'd like to support the making of our videos, you can do so on Patreon. We have also just launched seawolfdigital.co.uk, a new website for our web design, copywriting and content marketing freelance work. This work provides most of the income that supports us, so if you need some design work or want to promote and grow your company on the internet, get in touch and we'll do our best to help.